Hi guys, Mark here for KetoKitchenCollection.com, and today's question is, what are some quick keto meals when you're in a hurry? Well, for me, as you can see here, one of my go-to really super simple keto meals or keto foods is tinned tuna. Or you could go with tinned salmon as well, whatever is your preference, or any kind of tinned fish really. This one, the brand is John West. I believe that's available outside of Australia, but I'm not really loyal to that particular brand. I do find that the fish in it is a little bit better than other brands, just the texture and the taste. But you don't have to go with that particular brand. I typically will only buy this also when it's on special, and then I'll buy it in bulk. I get these for about $1 Australian, which is about, from memory, 50 pence UK, about 75 cents US, and about $1 Canadian, which is, you know, correct exchange rates at the start of 2019. Could change, of course. Now, with these, you don't have to refrigerate them. I just keep these in the cupboard. I've got a massive big stack of them for whenever I need them. All you do is just pop the lid and get a fork or a spoon or whatever and just eat it. It's as simple as that. You can take it to work. You don't have to, you take it wherever you want to go. They pack really easily. They're very small. This one is flavored. The flavor is zesty vinaigrette. Now, the flavored ones will start to have some carbohydrate content in them. I don't ever go with just the plain tuna. I don't go with salmon because I don't like salmon. I don't go with plain tuna because it's a little bit dry and hard for me to choke down. I don't really enjoy it, and if I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to eat it. So this particular one, I'm very choosy with the flavors I get, not because of the flavor necessarily, but because of the carbohydrate content. So let's have a quick look at the nutrition label here. The protein content in this can, which is, there's 95 grams of tuna in this particular tin. There's 16 grams of protein, 6 grams of fat, and less than 1 gram of carbohydrate. So with this, I would typically have, with that carbohydrate content, up to 3 of these in a day. I wouldn't have any more than that because you're starting to get an awful lot of protein in your diet while you're on if you're on a keto diet. You don't want to have too much protein relative to fat. Now, as you may know, you typically want to have 75% of your calories coming from fats and oils, and the remaining 25% coming from protein. And of course, there's going to be 3 to 5% coming from trace carbs in the food you eat. If you have too many of these tinned tunas or salmon, or just too much protein in general, you start to push your ratio from more in favor of protein. So it'll go from 25% up to 30, 40, 50%, which some people will find is fine. But if you're anything like me, when I start pushing the amount of protein I have past about 30 or maybe 35% of my calorie intake, I start to get carb cravings. Why? Because your body, when it's got a lot of protein in the system like that, it will convert it into glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. And then your brain will start to get more carbs. It's not even coming in through the diet specifically as carbohydrates. You're putting it in as protein, and it's getting converted into carbohydrates in your body, right? My brain and your brain's probably fairly similar. Everyone's different, but you're probably fairly similar. If your brain, when you're in ketosis, starts to get more carbs than the trace carbs you're getting in your food, it's going to start thinking it wants to push itself back on to glycolysis, which is when your body uses carbohydrates, and you'll start getting carb cravings, which is not what you want. Okay, carb cravings are one of the things that will push you off this diet and make you cheat and drop yourself out of ketosis. So limit the amount of protein you have. Don't go too hard on these, or at least just test out how many you can have. You'll know if you start to get carb cravings, you'll feel it in your head, as opposed to being hungry, which you tend to feel in your stomach. So I do go different flavors as well, but it's very dependent on what the carbohydrate content is. With one of these cans, I won't go any flavor that has any more than 3 grams of carbs per tin. And if I have one that's got 3 grams of carbs per tin, I won't have more than one in a day. I won't have any more of these. That's it. I get 1 tin of tuna in a day. It's got 3 grams of carbs. That's all I get. Okay? Just because I don't want to blow my carbohydrate content out throughout the day. I do tend to count my carbs when I'm on a keto diet. I count everything personally. You don't have to do that. Just make sure you're not really going super hard on the protein, and keep an eye on the amount of carbs in these tins when you buy them and when you consume them. But they're great, they're simple, they're easy, they're quick, they taste good, you can take them anywhere. It's a no-brainer, guys. I used to hate fish. I still am not a big fan of it, but some of the flavored ones of this tin tuna, it goes down pretty good. Now, this has got a lot of protein in it. What if we need to very quickly get some fat or oil into us for, just making sure that we get enough calories through the day, or to offset the amount of protein that we've had? What I turn to is quite simply oil, either coconut oil or macadamia nut oil. What I do is pour it into a little medicine cup, just like that. It's just one that, I think that one we didn't even use, or you might be able to just buy them separately from your chemist or pharmacy. That's got a little 15 ml marker on it. So what I'll do is I'll get the coconut oil or the macadamia nut oil, simply pour it into the 15 ml mark so I can measure it really easily. I know how much I'm getting. Simply just slam that like a shot. It's that easy. You don't have to refrigerate the oil, of course, as you know. You can take the bottles around with you if you're traveling or going to work and you just want to get in the extra calories through the day. It's a great way to top up your fat calories if you haven't had enough through the day. With regards to the coconut oil, it's got a very, very mild coconut flavor. Other than that, it doesn't really have any flavor at all. The macadamia nut oil does have a stronger flavor and, of course, tastes like macadamias, which, it's not super delicious, but it's certainly not, it's not gross. It's not a flavor or a taste that's not nice. The only challenge is that it is oil. Okay, it's not like water, it's not like milk, it's not like coffee, it's not like orange juice, it's oil. So when you fill one of these up, the trick is to not sip on it. If you sip on it, it's just going to coat the inside of your mouth. You're not really going to get it to go down very well. It's going to go all through your teeth. It's not going to be nice. It's pretty nasty, okay? You fill it up and you throw that sucker back like a shot of alcohol. Just do it. If it's really that gross, once you've done it, and look, really commit to it. I know some of you might throw it back and you just won't swallow and it'll stay in your mouth and it'll probably be horrifically disgusting. But just commit to it. Just bang, like a boss. Just throw it back. Chase it down with some zero sugar, zero calorie, like Coke Zero or Diet Coke. That fizziness and the flavor is going to reasonably negate the oil that you've just drunk. And look, it wasn't the nicest thing for me when I started it, but I knew I needed it. It was very handy, very easy, and now I almost enjoy it. Even just for the fact that I know I'm getting in good quality oil. I wouldn't have anything besides coconut oil or macadamia nut oil. I know they're very good for you on a keto diet. If you guys do have anything else that you take in that sort of sense that you just basically drink, then let us know in the comments. We'd all like to hear about that. But it's simple, it's easy, it's not the most expensive stuff in the world, and you can take it anywhere. It doesn't take any time at all, and for that reason, that's very high on my list of quick and easy keto meals. So the other thing that I turn to that's quick and easy is cheese. Just simple, plain old cheese. I go with cheddar cheese. Typically, I'll use cheddar cheese. You can use any that you want, whatever you like. Cheese is good on a keto diet. Just eat whatever cheese you want. Just buy it and eat it. I use cheddar cheese personally because it's got good ingredient overlap. So what do I mean by ingredient overlap? Well, if you've got a lot of different meals and recipes that you're making through the day or through the week, for me, probably half of them have cheese included in them. I'm not lactose intolerant, so of course if you are, then apologies, this is not really going to work for you. But I use cheddar cheese in all those different recipes that require cheese. I don't stray out of that. And you don't want the low-fat cheddar cheese. Just get the full fat and go hard on it. If you've got ingredient overlap across all those different meals, or you're just eating the cheese straight, you can buy it in bulk, basically, and you can get it cheaper, and it's just in the fridge, ready to go. It's not like you've got 3 or 4 different types of cheese, and if you're missing one, then you can't make this particular recipe. So I stick with cheddar cheese. I just cut off a slice that's 30 to 50 grams. You don't have to measure it if you don't want to. I tend to measure everything. I just cut off a slice 30 to 50 grams and just eat it straight. Of course, if you're out traveling or you're at work, you will need to refrigerate the cheese, unless you've only got a short trip somewhere. If you're traveling, just take a cooler bag or something with an ice brick in it, and you can keep the cheese cool that way. So the last thing that I find is fairly quick and easy for me is to get pre-chopped or pre-mixed green leafy vegetables in a mix, like a packaged mix from the supermarket or grocery store. Now you can buy these separately and cut them up yourself and mix them all. There's certainly no problem with that. But what I do is I'll get the packet, I'll find sealable containers. Typically what I'll use here in Australia when we order our Chinese food, we get it in sealable plastic Chinese containers. That's what we call them. Some Chinese places, and I think it might be fairly common in America, you get when you buy your Chinese or Asian food, it's in those cardboard boxes. That's not what I'm talking about. So if you can get access to these containers, they're really handy to use. You can get them cheaply at some Asian grocery stores and maybe even your supermarket or regular grocery store. If not, just get containers that can seal of some kind. It doesn't really matter. Spread out or divvy up, split up your green leafy vegetable mix into all the different containers. Now I'll typically use kale, or you can use kale, rocket, spinach, or baby spinach, lettuce, cabbage. I stick with lettuce, cabbage, and spinach. They're just my go-to ones because I like them. Split it up into 5 or 10 different containers. Then get the cheese. Okay, this is where we have ingredient overlap. Get the cheese, and I just grate it into all of the containers, however much I want, just so that it's palatable. If I want more cheese, I have more cheese. If I don't want much, then I won't take much. But typically I'll grate in about 30 or 40 grams of cheese into each container, and then just seal them up, leave them in the fridge. You are good to go. Whenever you need a quick meal, you just grab one from the fridge, open the lid, and eat. It's that simple. It's a perfectly good keto meal. And the other big thing with that, and this is something that I wanted to bring up that's a very important point that I've just explained. Pre-prepare as many keto meals as you can. It will give you so much more chance of success on your keto meal, because if you're hungry or you're getting carb cravings or whatever it may be, or you're trying to fight off habit eating or emotional eating or anything like that, it's easy to cheat in those times, especially if you think, oh, I've got to make a keto meal, I've got to cook this and I've got to cook that. And if you're anything like me, you're busy. I don't particularly really enjoy cooking. I do a lot of it, but I don't particularly enjoy it. And the thought of being hungry and having carb cravings and just I've had a garbage day and I just want to eat something that's nice and makes me feel good, those are the times that I will cheat. And, I have cheated. I'm human. And, those are probably the times that you may cheat as well. If you've already got a meal ready to go that's keto approved, you just get it out of the fridge or out of the cupboard and you eat it. It's simple. You don't open the cupboard and look at that sugary cereal or go and grab yourself a piece of toast with something on it. It will increase your chances so much by having pre-prepared keto meals as often and as many as possible, and even with some variety if you can do it. So honestly, take my advice and pre-prepare everything you can. So that really brings us to the end of what I do for quick and easy keto meals or keto food if I'm on the go and super busy, which is pretty much always. I mean, we're all super busy most of the time, right? So what do you guys do if you're in ketosis and you need something that's quick and easy? Do you turn to the oil and the tinned tuna or fish like I do, or maybe the pre-prepared salad mix? What's your go-to food if you need something in a hurry while you're in ketosis? I'd like to know. Everyone would like to know. Please put it in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video through to this point. I do appreciate you and your time that you've given me. Again, I'm Mark for KetoKitchenCollection.com, and I'll see you guys on the next one.